Hey everyone, this is Cameron, the co-host and editor of Renegade Animation on renegadepopculture.com. If you like what we do, please give us a like, a follow, and a rating on Apple Podcasts. Or you can hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. We are where podcasts can be found. If you can, consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/renegadepopculture. That way we can keep doing what we love, and that's talking about the wild, extremely exhausting world of animation and animation discourse. Oh boy, last week was definitely a week. Anyway, on with the show, y'all.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Renegade Animation on the Renegade Pop Culture Podcast Network. My name is Mike. I'll be your host this evening. Joining me, as always, is the animation guru himself, Cameron.
Howdy, howdy.
And, of course, everyone's favorite Crazy Lemur, Bree.
Good God, I definitely picked the week to stay away from the internet.
Yeah, we are talking about the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which comes with some baggage. But before we get to any of that, Cameron, there's a trailer for a pretty cool movie that DreamWorks is putting out in the fall.
So let's talk about this quickly, because something we forgot to mention during our whole diatribe against Pete Docter's weird way of running Pixar, which is still probably the dumbest and most controversial thing in animation this year. I cannot imagine it's going to get dumber than that. Though this week definitely tried, but one of the things we forgot to mention was the fact that they canceled a Pixar film that was in production for 3 years about two female leads who were close friends and were dealing with the possibility of drifting away as friends. And it's like, wow, what a cool and interesting concept that was killed, because Pete Docter and the executives just don't know what they are doing, or they don't like suggestively possible queer romance stuff. Well, obviously, this was not planned, but DreamWorks dropped the trailer for Forgotten Island, which is about two female friends who have a long, strong, lasting friendship that is at risk of falling apart as one of them plans to go to the U.S. for school, as both of them get sucked into a magical land known as the Forgotten Island, where the longer you stay there, the better chance that your memories of one another will be erased from your memory forever. Gee, what a time to release that trailer.
Right?
Uh-huh.
First of all, it's by the director of Puss in Boots: Last Wish, Joel Crawford. And oh boy, this is going to be fun. The trailer looks amazing. The animation looks awesome. It's doing that stylized CGI look. It is possibly the first animated feature heavily focusing on Filipino culture. Or at least that's the only one I can think of. And one of the most unique parts of it was it's not the first animated movie about two female friends, because I'm sure Europe and Japan have got us beat for decades with that kind of stuff. And it doesn't matter if it's tangentially queer or not. For American animation, it's like a scale of how dire protagonist stories are with how stories are set up and crafted in US animation. Because it's always like a guy and a gal, father and son, mother and daughter. Two friends, female friends, who may or may not have queer feelings for one another. And it's perfectly okay if it's platonic also. It feels so refreshing. Why is that? Is it just because of how everything is crafted in this world? In this side of things? Or, what do you two think?
I think it is a little bit of everything, because I think the closest we've had to a pair of female protagonists, they're still sisters, and I'm talking about Frozen.
Yeah, I would say that, or if we're talking about the friend dynamic, it's not a pair. I would say Turning Red, but yeah, shit is dire. It's oh no, they have a vagina. We can't have that. Think of the marketing.
It's just so weird because, and I know some people are going to be like, then are you just ignoring K-pop demon hunters? And it's like, no, I mean, you can be right about that, but it's also like, it's a Rumi story. It's not a Rumi Zoe.
I mean, it's a little bit of their story, but yeah, Rumi is the main protagonist, and obviously in the sequel, I think they're gonna focus more of them as a group, but still, like, if we're talking about, like, the central focus of the film being the relationship of one or two to multiple women, it's basically non-existent. Like, you have a better chance of having an anvil fall on you, like Wile E. Coyote style.
Well, we'll see how that goes with Coyote versus Acme coming out later this year. So it's just funny, you know? Like, it really makes Pixar look even worse now because it's like so many people are so heavily excited about this movie, and it looks great. I love the stylish look of everything. You could tell that Joel Crawford and the co-director, I forgot his name, I'm sorry, like really took care to have like Filipino culture, like in it without it feeling too like amusement park-ish or Disneyland-ish, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is like what Raya and the Last Dragon unfortunately felt like.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that this is set in the 90s is just kind of great for everyone, whether you were actually in high school around that time or for most of us who were born in the 90s. You get all that sweet nostalgia.
Well, not only that, but from like a storytelling perspective, you could have it be a period piece, but also still have it be modern enough that you can have things like the internet, you know, his TV, like VHS. So it's a little bit, I would say, forgiving, you know, in terms of like world building, that you can kind of focus on crafting like a more unique narrative.
Oh yeah, that too.
And it also just, man, it's exciting. It looks refreshing, vibrant, and I will say, when I saw it in theaters, they did cut out the part where, like, when the two officially become friends, they cut out the part where she's just like, I'm not into blood packs. And then the girl and one of the friends goes, I'm not a psychopath, and makes the friendship bracelet and such. They cut that out in the theatrical release. I was a little like, oh,
and probably because it's for kids. I'm like, kids are gonna see this anyway, so exactly. Yeah, I don't get that. That's weird.
It's not like she was cursing up a storm, which is considerably funny if it does happen, because like two of DreamWorks' most recent movies has a bleeped swear word gag with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and Trolls 3 and whatever.
Yeah, you know what's like weird? They haven't done like any swearing since Shrek.
Oh yeah, that's right. And I mean, why not?
Well, here's the thing: is like Shrek's not really a kids movie.
Well, it's definitely not, considering if you know anything about the production history side of things of Shrek. It's very adult. I mean, very adult in the sense of its writing is not as childish as I think a lot of animation talking heads like to say it is. It's very just like grown up.
Like Shrek as a series, I don't really think got quote unquote kid friendly till Shrek the Third.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's just funny because like DreamWorks was supposed to be this like idiosyncratic, like punk rock rebel animation studio, and then Katzenberg, in all of his infinite wisdom, or what wisdom he did have, whittled away, and he was just like, let's make movies that are similar to Disney and Pixar at the time. And even though they still have their own little DreamWorks flair, which is funny because it's like the Madagascar films were way more successful than Disney's The Wild, if y'all remember that thing. and then they did their whole level like, well, we love this genre of movies, so we'll make a bunch of movies like that. And then, like, I mean, that's kind of the great thing about DreamWorks. There's no foundation they have to worry about. They can make their more safe, audience-friendly moneymakers, and then they can make their big, ambitious titles after, next to it. So it's just nice. Like, DreamWorks is slowly becoming one of my favorite studios. Even something like Trolls 3, which is just kind of whatever and very cynically made at points. It's still cool that they're just let's just try out a bunch of visual styles and experimentations with it, like those felt puppet people, and then the whole 2D sequence and everything that we talked about when we talked about the movie on the podcast. So
yeah, DreamWorks has kind of always been my favorite animation studio, but that's because I grew up with a copy of Ants, Shrek, and I don't know if I ever owned The Prince of Egypt, but I've seen that movie a million times.
Right. But it's exciting. Forgotten Island looks great, and I can't wait for it. I don't know if this would help, but I wish it kind of played a little bit after animation is filmed so we could get a preview of it, a work in progress preview of it. Because I feel like going to animation is filmed kind of helps your case a little. I mean, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm overinflating how important animation is film is, but I feel like it does actually help.
I was going to say, don't forget about Annecy.
Yeah, and Annecy, they'll probably have a work in progress preview at Annecy. So if only traveling wasn't such a pain right now.
I know.
And I have a friend coming in next month. We're like, okay, the TSA's kind of back, but everything else.
Yeah.
The world's on fire still. Anyway, let's go talk about something that's not completely on fire, but is even worse on fire.
It is a nuclear meltdown.
Oh, God. What is it with... So, the Super Mario Galaxy movie came out. It's the sequel to the hit 2023 animated movie that basically got to be a massive hit because, one, Nintendo has a generational nostalgia hold on people because Mario is one of the most, if not the most iconic video game character of all time. And two, it had nothing else to compete against it. And unfortunately, that's still the same for May, and then I think it's either June when Toy Story 5 comes out.
Yep.
I think it's June.
Yeah, so it's going to have its time in the theater to be the only thing you take your kids to. And you know what? No matter how this came out, I would rather, if I had kids, I'd rather take my kids to go see the Super Mario Galaxy movie than the upcoming Moana remake.
Oh my god.
That looks so bad. Y'all, what are we doing here? Do not go see that movie. We were so close to maybe possibly getting done with these remakes, and then so many people went to see the stupid Lilo and Stitch remake. Which,
y'all are part of the problem. You can curse Disney to the cows come home, but at the end of the day, they're still making them because you fuckers are still seeing them.
And I understand, but Moana is the literal best case of we have Moana at home. Just throw on the original 2016 Disney movie.
You know what? Here's the thing that, really gets me the most. So, I'm not sure if you know too much about renderers, but Disney's had their in-house render engine Hyperion, which they've been using since Big Hero 6. Moana was, the second or third movie that they used it on, and basically does things with ray tracing so you can have more dynamic lighting. So Moana, in terms of it being production, is probably going on close to 15 years now. So you have a 15-year-old render engine, and if you put the scenes side by side,
it's night and day.
It looks so much better. It's not even close. This is when people say Unreal Engine visual effects and, movies don't look like movies. They're talking about that.
Yep.
It just doesn't look good, and I'm sorry, Maui needs to be a bit huskier, a bit chunkier. And no, Maui was not fat. Maui needs to be a bit thicker, because Dwayne just looks like he's cosplaying in an SNL sketch. That's what
like,
everyone said. It looks like an SNL sketch.
And, like, if they were gonna bother, because it's a 3D digibody, because they kind of have to do that to, like, make the tattoos work, because otherwise you'd have to, like, rotoscope and that'd be a fucking nightmare. So if they're already gonna, like, digitally replace most of them anyway, sans his face, like, yeah, why not switch it up a bit? But that's not even the most egregious part. Where the fuck are his nipples?
Yeah, seriously.
No, they got cut off by Tamatoa. So
but it's like, here's like the weird thing. It's not even like a Disney being like weird thing, because the Will Smith genie still has them. Why does he not have it? That makes it like so much worse, because then that totally gives it away that that's a CG body, and it's just, what the fuck are we doing here?
And of course, Tamatoa looks more realistic and it's creepy looking. It's so funny. The 2D, not the 2D, the CGI animated designs, like with the little coconut people, Tamatoa, and the angry island spirit, they still look like how they do in a movie. It's like they literally asset flipped everything from the 2016 movie. I think even like the pig looks animated, and of course, what's the rooster's name? Hey, or something like that.
Yeah,
looks like how he does in the cartoon, even like creepier, obviously. But god. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked here. We got to talk about Mario Galaxy, but
because that was the appetizer. That was the calm before the storm, if you will.
Before we get to the movie, can we address the dumb controversy that that sprung up about, and I don't know why we do this every time. Well, every time I'm not going to get into Illumination stuff, but just there was something that just went around on social media that like kids deserve better movies, or it's a kids movie, therefore we don't need to expect it to be good. It's like, what?
No, so here's the whole dealio with the Super Mario Galaxy movie. What happened was it came out, Nintendo and Illumination did a little bit too much of the oopsie, we revealed too much of the movie with the final trailer, and then the bit of marketing that revealed Fox McCloud in the movie. And then it came out. People on both sides of critics and audience goers lost their minds. Like, their marbles went everywhere, and all common sense had to go back to their home planet and died along the way there. So,
and Nintendo didn't help that, because like, this is the cynical ass in me. I feel like a lot of the reason they did that marketing stuff is I don't think they lifted the embargo until a day before the movie dropped. So that's usually never a good sign.
Yeah, and now, like, so far review, like, as we're talking about this a week after the movie has been released, the reviews are mixed, understandably so. Probably in the correct, like, space of reception for an Illumination Super Mario movie. There are some really good parts about it, but there's also a lot of parts that show Illumination's lack of growing or commitment to, like, some of the more production side of things. And, like, yes, they use a French studio because of tax credits, but Illumination has possibly the best working conditions of any studio.
Absolutely.
Like, in the U.S., well, the U.S. animation scene. Take with that as you will, with how you define that, because of the Frenchness of it all. But it's more the fact that, well, let's get on with, let's talk about the plot, the base of the plot, I guess, because there's a lot to it, I guess, and not in a way that's like a Kung Fu Panda 2 kind of way.
Yeah, it is dense.
So it's like, okay, Baby Bowser, voiced by
Betty Safdie.
Which, listen, we'll talk about the celebrity casting here in a little bit. So he captures the space princess Rosalina, who is voiced by Brie Larson. We'll get to that. And then on Earth, Mushroom Plant Mario Planet. I don't know what you call the world that Mario lives in, because it's Earth, but not Earth.
I just call it the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, just Mushroom Kingdom. It all, and they get sent on a mission to go help some desert group. Which, it's so funny that this movie's called, like, to be a pedantic Mario fan for a second, it's funny that this is called Super Mario Galaxy Movie, when technically the place that they go to in the beginning of the movie is from Super Mario Odyssey from the Nintendo Switch console. So,
hush, nerd.
I am not going to shut up about this. So, well, I will be, because I'm not that pedantic. It's just a funny observation if you know your Mario lore. And they run into Yoshi, who is voiced by Donald Glover. We'll get to that. And along the way, they are told that, like, one of those little star things, the Lumas, crash lands on the Mushroom Kingdom. And it's up to everyone, like literally almost everyone in the kingdom, to go and rescue Rosalina and well, it's so funny. Well, sorry, there's so much to talk about this movie, but not in a way that's like substantial. It's more just like, slow down, movie, slow the hell down. And so let's get to it. This movie has too much going on.
Yep.
There is, like, when people say, like, call this just visually, like, visual eye candy porridge or slop and whatever, there's a reason for that. There's no real major story. There are plot points that could have gone in any direction into a foundation of a story to focus on. But there was no commitment to following any through line of story. Or if they did, it went through and just kind of came and went, like nothing happened, like a Mario speedrun. And there's just a lot of characters to go through here. And it doesn't help that a majority of the characters are separate from one another for a mass majority of the movie. Like, for example, let's talk about Rosalina, voiced by Brie Larson. First of all, if you're still mad about Brie Larson because of her just perfectly reasonable take of, we need more diverse voices in front of, behind the camera, and in the world of film criticism, you are a loser. Go back under your rock. Nobody wants to see you. Go back to your troglodyte friends. You're just lost in the past. Get a life. Touch grass. Just get the hell out.
It's been 8 years, and if anyone is still complaining about that, the locker is right there. Shove yourself in it.
Just stay in there. Put a lease on it, man. But here's the thing about this. For all the hype of Rosalina being in the movie and having her one major badass moment of fighting a boss from the Super Mario Galaxy game, sorry, I will try to keep the Mario nerd stuff down to a minimum. She is both, and I don't know how you do this, but Illumination finds a way. She is the driving force of the plot, but she is also barely in the movie. Like, I would argue at the very least, she is in it for like 10, maybe 10 or less minutes.
God. It's like, I hate when movies do this, and you know what? I would be more mad if this was like an isolated incident, but it's like, do you want to be like a movie or a commercial? And that's what makes things like the Lego movie so special, because it is so hard to do a genre movie like that that's based off of something popular. And like, yeah, the film industry, like, it's commercial art. Like, I'm not gonna, act all snooty and highbrow and say, well, this studio's blah. But you can, at least, if you're handed something that is that popular, like a Mario, you could at least play with it and just make a movie instead of, hey, you remember that from the games? It makes you want to play them, huh? Do you remember that? Oh, you want your Super Smash Bros. Movie? We're testing the waters here. You want it? You want it? You want it?
I actually have a question for you, Cameron, since you're more well-versed in the Mario games. Do you think a more straight adaptation of Super Mario Galaxy would have made for a better movie just because it's like telling the story? Or am I asking the wrong question and what these movies need is just a stronger writer? Because let me pull up IMDb and check out Matthew Vogel's screenplay. Yeah, let me look up the screenwriter for Super Mario Brothers movie.
Here's the thing. I think the only way that this would have been a more substantial movie is, one, they got a better writer, or they had a better foundation instead of just fan service the movie. And two, they don't adapt the main platformer games.
Yeah, because the thing with like Mario games, at least the ones that I've played, is that the plot and story is kind of a generous term.
Like, some of them have a little more backstory to how things are done, or like how things unfold, like with the Mario Galaxy and Odyssey games. But if you wanted to have a Mario story, and no, you don't need it to be like a Goodfellas level or Godfather style, like sweeping epic drama or something like that. All you needed to do was actually adapt one of the RPG franchises of Mario, because you got like 3 of them. You got your Paper Mario, you got your Super Mario RPG, and you got your Mario and Luigi games. Because those are the ones that, if you're going to make a story-focused Mario movie, those are the ones you have to do.
Oh yeah, I mean, I grew up with the original Paper Mario and like the 64, so like that's kind of like more my Mario. Honest to God, I don't even know if I've even played any of the platformers, which sounds really bad. I guess it was like the Sonic and me, like I don't know, like they've never been like things that I've been like religiously attached to. But yeah, I feel like it's easier. I mean, I know the success rate for adapting video games is basically like a crater in like the core of the earth.
Yeah.
But I feel like in theory, adapting something with a more straightforward narrative, you know, like well, not even Fallout. I would say Assassin's Creed, but we all know how that turned out. But
yeah.
in theory, that would be better to adapt, you know, as long as it's not by people that actually hate the thing that they're adapting.
Well, I mean, what do you get? This is what happens when, I mean, nothing against Matthew Vogel. I'm sure he's a decent person. But yeah, all his writing credits are the Super Mario Brothers movie, Minions: The Rise of Gru, and Big Mama, Like Father, Like Son.
So it's not even the good Big Mama.
No. It's the
Damn.
bad one. Like, woof. Okay, like, you needed, like, and it's nothing against, like, the 2 directors who have worked on, like, Teen Titans Go, which, it makes sense. I get it. If you want someone to make a lightweight, maybe slightly edgier, comedically goofy, family-friendly movie, get those guys. And some of that is here, but I would argue that the last movie is a lot funnier than this one. This one doesn't have as many of the dark jokes in it that I was hoping to see, but there's definitely more like interesting creative decisions than actual like comedic. Like, I don't think it's a very funny movie. I heard some chuckles in my theater when I saw it, but it was very quiet. I think the only chuckle that was there was the 1/8 like pop song Needle Drop when Yoshi is exploring Mario's hometown. And
yeah.
But which is a pro. They don't have really any needle drops outside of that one. It's mostly Mario music throughout the whole movie.
That actually kind of dispels a popular belief that so many film fans have that, like, oh, when a movie makes a lot of money, that they just rest on their laurels and don't listen to feedback. I'm pretty sure that they listened to the people who said, yeah, okay, I think we relied too much on pop music needle drops. Let's actually put in some like orchestral arrangements.
Yeah, and that's what they did. And here's the thing that, like I said, the reason why there's so much going on is because all the characters are doing their own thing. That just happened to slightly...
Their paths occasionally converged.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'll say this, I still like this version of Princess Peach.
Same.
Like, and Toad. They're both very good, but they get a head start on the adventure while Mario and Luigi are stuck with Bowser for a little bit. And what happens is that, like, Princess Peach and Toad end up on, like, this, like, basically Tatooine space, like, locate, like, you know, like, whatever you call like that lunar location from Treasure Planet that's like looks like a crescent moon, but it's actually like a airport kind of location kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what I mean. And she does run into King Wart, who we haven't seen since Super Mario Brothers 2, the reskinned version of Doki Doki Panic. And some of the lore things that they do with this movie, with the Mario franchise, is actually pretty fun. King Wart as his galactic crime boss Kingpin, voiced by Louise Guzman, is a very fun creative choice. I love that, and just how he's constantly spitting out bubbles. And they do actually, like, say what you will about the flashiness of the animation and stuff, and like the nothingness of the story and script. I think the big thing about this movie is it loves Nintendo and Mario. It loves so many different aspects of the Mario universe and mechanics and games. Because, like, really, Bowser Jr. was a thing in Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube. The whole thing was Bowser Jr. kidnaps Princess Peach because he was told by Bowser that Peach was his mom. So it's just so funny that they skip to Galaxy and skip Super Mario Sunshine, even though they do show a reference to the mechanic that Mario uses, which is like this water pump mechanic that they use in the Sunshine games. But due to that one's kind of polarizing reception, I assume that's why they skipped, because Galaxy was like Game of the Year material, like literally, when it came out.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And I did like Bowser's interaction with Mario and Luigi. Like, Chris Pratt's fine. He's just fine. He's still probably the worst one of the bunch. Like, a lot of people think Benny Safdie's the worst celebrity casting for this movie, but I disagree. I think it's very much Chris Pratt still. And we're not just doing that because Chris Pratt in real life kind of sucks. It's just because he's the weakest of the bunch, which is just so funny to think about.
It's just like the odd one out, and it's not even that he's bad, it's just he's just kind of
whatever.
It's just, and you know what? Chris Pratt has done like better things, like in Onward, like, but that character was clearly designed for him. It's a little bit different when you're trying to, you know, we know what Mario sounds like. Like, Mario has sounded like a certain way for like over 30 years.
Exactly. And Charlie Day is still a lot of fun as Luigi, like peak Luigi's casting. Like, if you're going to get someone like that, Charlie Day captures the kind of manic nervousness of Luigi perfectly. Like, if you're going to celebrity stunt cast him. And Yoshi. The Donald Glover casting, part of me feels like they did this because they knew they would get a lot of online traction because of his casting, because it's like, how the hell are you going to make this, like, like, oh god, are we going like the Super Mario World cartoon version of Yoshi where he has a really annoying voice? Like talking voice, like, oh, you, Mario, oh, I'm so hungry and such. And it's like, no, Donald Glover just does Yoshi's cadence all throughout the movie. And as much as I would like to be annoyed with some of the celebrity stunt casting here, Donald Glover's constant trolling shitpost interviews about his casting in this movie has been great. It's like a Easter eggs that you could have added into Atlanta and such.
And you know what? I feel happy for him because I'm not sure if you guys were aware, but Donald Glover had a stroke not too recently, and I think that's part of the reason why he didn't come back for the second season of Fiona and Cake.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad he's okay. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's why he had to cancel like all of his Childish Gambino tours. Most people thought it was COVID, but no, he had obviously a massive enough stroke that it took him like a year like away because he just basically like disappeared.
Yeah. Oof. Well, I'm glad he's okay, and I'm glad he's back because
Seriously.
Whoa. Man, now that's weird to know that because now it's like, what am I supposed to think about now outside of I'm glad Donald Glover's okay? like seriously, I'm glad he's okay, but man, holy cow.
And I'm also glad that he's kind of having fun on, well, playing a character who's essentially the Nintendo version of Groot as far as his performance goes, but also that he's just having this much fun on the press tour is kind of great too.
It's like, yeah, this is like my most important casting in like my whole lifetime. I have been waiting for this moment, and it's just like, it's like, you do it, man. Like, I love this.
I mean, I think it's partially true because I'm like black nerdy kid who's like, hell yeah, like all these 80s black kids, this is for you.
Like, I mean, hey, if I got asked to play Yoshi, it's like, yeah, sure, do it. Give me the money, give me the contract. I want to do this. Like, yes, a lot. I mean, it's funny because when this movie came out, there was like a lot of different news stories coming out, like with Kirsten Dunst. Like, let's see, I think she was going to be in like The House Guest 2 and then Minecraft 2, and she was like, you know, I like being in good movies, but I also like making a lot of money. And it's like, hey, you know what? Get that bag, Kirsten. You're probably going to be the best thing about the Minecraft movie too, by the way. So we'll see how that goes. But it's just so funny how the movie doesn't take any time to get Yoshi integrated with Mario and Luigi. There's no like slow build up of trust or friendship with them. It's very instant, which fine, but also it is just kind of like, okay, whatever, he's part of the team now, which they kind of play off in a lampshady kind of way with Toad going like, so a dinosaur just shows up and he's just one of the crew. Fine, okay. But Yoshi also doesn't do a whole lot in this movie. Like, it's just so funny. It's like all these characters that are introduced, like from the Mario side of things, don't do a whole lot.
Well, that's also because, like, this screenplay doesn't really give them room to do anything.
Like, I love the bromance between Bowser, Luigi, and Mario. And I would have loved more of that, but then they cut it off when they go to another location from the Super Mario Galaxy game where they encounter the Honey Queen, voiced by Issa Rae, which I hope she got paid enough for those 3 lines of dialogue. And, like, okay, let's talk about this. Yeah, because, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. And, like, all my thoughts are trying to rush out of my head at the same time, like, every single one of them. And this is some of the things that's, like, frustrating to talk about with, like, casting in movies. Because, yes, I understand celebrity casting helps bring in the money and gets people in seats because it's like, oh, well, yes, you are sitting down for the Mario IP, but it is also like, I like these actors. It's kind of running into the same issue that Invincible is going through right now, where it's like Invincible is going through its own production woes and hell, and yet they're like, we got all this money, we could use it to hire more animators and give them more time to make the animation look better, but we're going to spend it on celebrities left and right to any kind of substantial point to, like, why did you even have this person here? And yeah, so
yeah, especially like when some of them don't like come back. Like I don't really watch Invincible outside of like work stuff. I don't know, like that's just a me thing. But they've already replaced like Aaron Paul and Marshall Ali.
Exactly. It's like, why hire them when you're going to replace them? And why was Issa Rae needed for this one scene? Because the Honey Queen doesn't leave an impression of any kind. And which is funny because Fox McCloud, voiced by Glenn Powell, who I am sure he got more screen time because he's a big popular actor right now, got more screen time. Like Fox McCloud, who is not even a part of the Mario universe, like quite literally and figuratively and literally, got more to do in this movie and is part of the plot more than Rosalina is.
Which is weird if you're going to call this the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
It's not Super Mario and Star Fox. It's a Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Yeah, I know, which is, like, at that point, I'm like, why don't you commit to the bit and just have, hey, surprise, motherfuckers, it's a Smash movie.
And I mean, like, I'll say this. I actually do like Glenn Powell as Star Fox, and apparently Glenn Powell was the one who went to Illumination.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I want Star Fox, because if I'm in this movie, you will make another goddamn Star Fox game that isn't just a remake of Star Fox 64.
Good lord, we do need a new Star Fox game. I love that.
It has been way too long.
And he is actually a lot of fun in the movie, and they do diversify the animation style in this movie. Does add in 2D sequences, especially with Fox McCloud going over his own backstory and such, which they do kind of make a tangential jab at the fact that it's like, oh yeah, I got lost in a vortex and got stuck in this universe. Gonna blame it on my mechanic. And it cuts to Slippy Toad for a moment. It's just like, yeah, Slippy Toad is kind of the punching bag of that crew. Like, he's fun. I like his character. He's definitely very Fox McCloud with how he comes off, but it's, again, Rosalina gets nothing to do. And at one point, Bowser does reunite with Bowser Jr., and I like their dynamic where they kind of build up a plot about Bowser, like, abandoned or left Bowser Jr. at a boarding school kind of thing, where he's just like, I might be a bad dad. And instead of being mad, Bowser Jr. is like, I did all this so I can impress you. And instead of diving into any kind of psychosis about this, Bowser going from kind of happy dude bro to like, oh, I'm going to be a bad guy again. It's like, this movie constantly has more interesting ideas than it actually has any interest in tackling.
Bowser's character arc is kind of interesting because, like, at the start of this movie, it seems like they're setting up Bowser having some sort of face turn, only to turn right back into a villain by the end.
And I like the dynamic between Bowser Jr. and Bowser, and especially when he does the bedtime story sequence, which, I'll say this, while DreamWorks and Pixar are spending possibly more money than Illumination on their animation budgets, because of course they have to deal with the US tax system and how not a lot of states provide tax incentives for film, especially with the fact that it just sounds like everyone is moving the hell out of LA, because LA loves the idea of being the birthplace of Hollywood, but it does not like any Hollywood productions ever happening in LA.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah.
The irony of it all. And I think Illumination does texture work in some regards way better than either Pixar, Disney, or DreamWorks. Because there's a scene where Bowser has a puppet of himself, and I don't know if they composited that puppet into the movie or it's just an eerily well done, almost hyper realistic together puppet, like hand puppet and such, it looks so real. Like
it does.
Like it's like if they shoved a real human into the movie, and it just like it looks so out of place, but it looks so amazing. And Illumination's good at that. They have things from like their past movies, like Despicable Me 3, where the villain's toy from back in the day and such. Like you watch like the fake ad for it, it looks like a real plastic toy that they made. And I wish it's just the movie did more of that. And they also try to throw in some kind of half-hearted like thing for Mario of, oh, well, I'm gonna ask the princess out. And it goes nowhere. And I'll say this, the one funny line that made people laugh was a play on the Super Mario 64 opening where it opens with Princess Peach giving a letter to Mario saying like, "Dear Mario, please come to the Mushroom Kingdom Castle. I baked you a cake." But instead of just like, it says, "Dear Mustache, I went into the galaxy to go find Rosalina and save the universe. Bye." And it's just so funny. It's like, I'm not going to call you Mario. I'm just going to call you Mustache. So
I do think that's kind of cute how Mustache has become like her pet name for Mario.
That sounds so weird, but accurate of how their dynamic is, because Mario for the past 50 years or so has been on a on and off romantic relationship with Peach. It's sometimes super romantic, and sometimes it's really not. They're like really good platonic friends, but they're also boyfriend and girlfriend. I do wonder if one point Nintendo is going to be like, Peach is just going to be like, "Hey Mario, where the fuck is the ring?"
I mean, he gave her an umbrella. Yeah. Does that count?
I mean, like, you know what's crazy is that, like, the most, like, dynamic, like, dramatic interpretations of their relationship is fucking Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Of all things.
Of all things. And I am a little sad that Kamek, voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson, is not in the movie more. But he's still very delightful. I like how they play up Kamek as just like this wishfully, blissfully uncle character to Bowser Jr. and such.
Did you notice that he looks like noticeably older in this movie?
Oh yeah, he does. He absolutely does. And listen, say what you will about Illumination, we are literally going back and forth about how much it is frustrating to watch an Illumination movie and watch as their stories add up to mostly nothing. The animation of this movie looks great. And it's not just because everything looks ideally accurate to the world of Mario, which it does, but they do all these little animation details that are extremely accurate to the video games, which is so cool. Like for example, the weapon that Bowser Jr. uses is actually the weapon that he uses in Super Mario Sunshine. Because the whole point of that Super Mario Sunshine game is that Mario gets arrested, and it's because Bowser Jr. is playing like an imposter of Mario. So like whatever you see in the main, like in the movie, he basically does in the game. Like in Super Mario Sunshine and such. And I like how Bowser Jr. looks, especially with the fact that when he opens his mouth, he really just has mutated gums because there's only one tooth poking out. Like, but I will say I don't like the eyes. I think they needed just to be dot eyes, like in Hopper, like when they see when like it's the humans that see the animals and such.
Oh yeah,
because the eye, when you look closely at the eyes of Bowser Jr. in the movie, they looked a little cracked out, and it just looks a little uncanny because like Bowser has these like traditionally cartoony eyes, and I wish Bowser Jr. either had that or just went with the dot eyes, which is what they normally do with every other iteration of
Yeah, dot eyes would have looked better, and probably would have made like the design just look funnier too.
And the action is really good in this movie. Like DreamWorks has really good action. Sometimes Disney will surprise you with their action in their animated films. But the fact that they are in the Mario universe, the action is so good in this movie. It's like, I'm not going to say it's going to be one of the best action movies of the year, but so far, I would kind of put it there in a way, because they just go crazy with the dynamic camera angles and like how it sweeps around and just all the posing. This must have been a pain to properly storyboard and such, especially near the end, especially when Bowser goes through his Bowser bone form after they do a homage to the very original Bowser death in the original Super Mario Brothers and such. Like, it's a cool, fun movie to watch at the very least.
Yeah, something I wrote in my Letterboxd review. The action sequences, of which there are many, are so well choreographed that you're nearly begging for them to be of service to a more focused narrative. Something else I was thinking about, like coming home from the theater that day, was imagine if a movie that looked as well polished as like the Super Mario Brothers movie was applied to something like, I hate what I'm about to say, but
oh boy,
do you remember the like adult animation sub-label that Mike Moon was setting up before he left Illumination and went to Sony?
Yes.
Yeah, that thing went nowhere. I asked about it the last time we talked about it, and a friend of the podcast, Ruben, messaged me saying, like, yeah, I think nothing happened with it.
Yeah, because what I'm pretty sure what happened is, once Mike Moon left, nobody else was like rising to the occasion. It's almost like he took the idea with him.
And now he's working at, I think, Sony Pictures Animation now.
Yep.
So it's like, why wouldn't Universal want to invest, like, especially with the fact that adult animation does well? I mean, not to the extent of anime, but with how popular and how many people watch adult animation anyway, why not be the front runner of having, like, trying again to make more teen or young adult or adult focused animation?
Here's like the crazier thing. Like, they are making an adaptation of it, but like the Ted Peacock series is basically just a live action Family Guy.
Exactly. So it's just odd. It's so weird that they're just like, hey, we're going to do this. I don't know how much money they sunk into it. And then they're just like, oh, the guy left. Okay, well, no, never mind. We're not going to do anything about it. It's like all these studios had some kind of cool idea or some interesting, like, charge of, like, oh, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's blanking on me right now. But, like, some initiative trying to do more adult experimental animation. They're just like, once something happened, they're like, no, we're not going to do it. So, sorry, bye. We're going to cancel everything, throw it all out. Sorry.
Well, I think it's like two things happen. Like, I think it's the same problem that video games are having, is that it was the middle of the pandemic. It was one of the few things that could be in production, and like everyone and their mother just greenlit so many animation things, and then they're like, oh, wait, fuck, this is actually expensive. What do we do?
With Illumination, it's like, you guys are going to make so much money from this Mario movie, and not only like right now, but when it hits digital and then Blu-ray and such, you're going to make double movie packs with the original movie. It's so frustrating. It's like, they could do so much, but they don't, because they like staying in their own safe, like, world bubble. Not one of Wart's bubbles, but of like, yeah, we're just going to do these really popular lightweight family film escapist stuff because it makes a lot of money, and we have no reason to do anything else. And it's frustrating because I know they could probably get some of that French talent that's from across the seas and like hire some of the French directors and such that are making like some of the best foreign animation out, like overseas animation out there.
Yeah. Now, if Illumination is going to keep their relationship with Nintendo, I was just thinking, as you said that, Cameron, get the director of Mars Express to do like Metroid.
Yeah. Oh, that would be perfect. All these studios have something that they could do, should do, because they're making all the money in the world. There's only 4 studios left in the whole freaking Hollywood scene right now, which is a hellhole in of itself. Why not do some adventuring things? Because it sounds like people want more adventurous stuff, but nope, no. Because at the end of the day, what kind of arcs happen in the Super Mario Galaxy movie? Nothing. Nothing happens. And nothing changes outside of like the spoilers brief, the lore edition of Princess Peach and Rosalina were sisters, which there was never really full-on indication that that was a thing, but it's also like, come on. There was some kind of connection there. And it's sweet, but again, the movie doesn't really want to dive into that because it means that they'd have to take time out of fan service and lightweight shenanigans because, oh, right, Mario needs to be in this movie. And it's so frustrating because at every point where I'm like, you know what, I think the hate towards Illumination is overwrought, it's overrated, y'all need to chill out because there are worse things going on in the studio system than Illumination. And then it's like, but Illumination, you need to start doing better.
I think I figured out the problem with both of these movies. And I can say this having rewatched the first one the night before I saw the sequel. There's clearly a difference between plot and story that I don't think the writer of these two movies have figured out.
And who knows what's going on? If this is a Illumination thing, like Chris Meledandri thing, or if it's like a Nintendo thing where it's like, nah, plot doesn't matter. And it's
or it could be both. Who knows?
Exactly.
It could be both.
Yeah, it could be both. And because it's like, I understand Nintendo is very, like, hesitant to sell out its IPs to different companies that aren't Nintendo. And it's like, yes, did I enjoy seeing some of the fan service, like seeing the Pikmin? Yes, that was fun. Did I enjoy seeing Fox McCloud? Yes. Did I like seeing the post-credits scene where we are finally going to get Princess Daisy, like, in the universe, and Luigi's finally going to get his freaking girlfriend? Yes. I don't know if I want a continuation of this version of the Mario universe. Like, or at the very least, make Super Mario 3 with the subtitle of, like, Luigi's Mansion, or something like that.
Or just actually commit to making a Smash Bros. Movie, because clearly this is what you want to do.
They're gonna do it. It's inevitable.
Well, who knows if they can, because Sony right now has the rights for Zelda, because they're doing a live action Zelda movie, so we'll see how that goes.
I mean, they can. I mean, they have Donkey Kong, right? They have, like, Fox McCloud.
They have Pikmin, so...
Yeah, I mean, they could just do it with, like, the, like, OG Smash Bros. Roster.
Yeah, and that means they'd have to bring in Ness, Jigglypuff, which, I don't know who owns the movie rights to Pokemon, but we'll see how that goes.
Well, I think it was Legendary, but I don't know if they still have it.
Because
that's a good question, actually.
Because, yeah, they haven't really done much outside of the Detective Pikachu, because did it underperform? Because I feel like it did okay, but...
Yeah, I think it did, like, fine.
I think it did fine. I think they're hoping for it to be a $1 billion movie. Yeah, and it just wasn't. Even though I really enjoyed Detective Pikachu.
Oh, same.
I will say, I did enjoy the fact that they brought back Luma Lee, the psychotic Luma from the first movie, as a prison guard. So, it was a cute little mid-credit scene gag where they're just like, the pain doesn't stop when when the screaming begins, or something like that. Just I'm glad that they kept that little thing. Like they don't overutilize reoccurring gags. I don't think they do a lot of that for this movie, so that's another kind of positive in its favor.
Another positive is like this movie doesn't have nearly as much dialogue, which on the one hand can be a problem because they kind of make up for that with so much overstuffed action, but at the same time, it's not like they're overstuffing this with like visual noise and too much dialogue.
Exactly. Now, it would have just been one thing if this movie came out, did whatever, and we all just went about our days because we have so much chaos in the world to worry about right now. Like, it's not even funny anymore. Just get us out of this timeline, for the love of God. But film critics, film snobs, and fans of Nintendo and of the movie and animation fans decided to have a battle royale of...
Yeah, they pulled the Avengers Assemble of being an annoying fucking twat.
Yeah, so for some reason, a movie like this brings out the weirdest and dumbest takes on all sides. At best, it's a whatever movie with some really good animation, some solid casting, and some fun action. At worst, it is a movie that loves the IP and franchise more than actually being a movie. But critics are acting, and I say this as a critic, are being so weird about this movie. It's like we've seen the Smash Bros. Roster of weird, hyperbolic conversations about this movie. Some critics said, I want to unalive myself because I watched this movie. I can't believe this AI slop. This movie feels like AI slop. I can't believe my kids watched this. But I'm sure those same people are going to be like, but I'll let my kids watch the Harry Potter TV series. So, and, or just saying, like I said, it's like, it's the worst, most evil, most diabolical movie of the year.
Yeah, it's like, calm down, like, and also, if you're saying this, if this is really, like, the worst that you've seen, I'm like, first of all, like, you're a fucking terrible critic, because it tells me that you're only watching stuff that primarily is gonna, ping off in search engines and is for clickbait. Like, you don't actually know what's going on. And second of all, it just, you both know that I watch, like, a lot of stuff. It just, I hate when people, like, don't engage with things, and I'm so very tired of, like, this constant, like, hyperbole of, like, everything has to be, like, a masterpiece or, like, complete shit. And it's like, guys, sometimes things can just be fine.
Like, that's the worst part. This movie is just fine.
I'll introduce the next point of stupidity, where we do this every time where the audience, or we'll just call them fans look at the Rotten Tomatoes score and still don't know how Rotten Tomatoes fucking works in 2026. And B, guys, I don't care what you think of a movie, it is not okay to harass critics for doing their job.
Like, first of all, critics, if you guys are turning, like, our jobs is to talk about and discuss movies in a way that makes it the movie either appealing to go see or to not go see, or just to bring a certain perspective into the discussion of, hey, you know what? I may not like this movie, but you may like it. If you still want to go see it, go see it. When you turn it into a game of who can be the most hyperbolic dick, you lose your credibility as a critic.
Mm-hmm.
When you do that. Like, when they were saying, like, I'd rather end my life than watch this movie again. And it's like, no, you don't.
Like, if you're gonna drop that this movie makes you suicidal, then, you better be watching, like, some heinous, like, actually illegal, like, criminal stuff, because if it's not anything that makes you, like, that level of sad and depressed, I'm like, you are just belittling people that actually go through that. And here's, like, the comment that grinded my ass about the AI slop. here's the thing. You don't have to like this movie. But this movie was made by actual human beings. Like, it's well documented. Like, you could tell that there was care into it, even if the story is kind of, But, like, if you're dropping comments like that, that tells me you don't fucking respect movies as an art form. I'm sorry. Like, that is an indictment on you more than it is on this goddamn movie.
It's so weird. It's like, we know what AI stuff looks like. So why do y'all keep acting like this is what AI actually looks like when we know what generative AI crap looks like?
It doesn't look just like even outside of that. Like, we know what Illumination's stance on AI is. They're constantly making fun of generative AI because, you know, the culture in France is different when it comes to animation because they actually respect the medium, but still.
Well, it's just so funny because they, like, I think it was either during Despicable Me 4 or Minions Rise of Gru, they made that whole teaser thing of, like, we're going to start using AI when it was just basically 20 to 30 seconds of backed up dumping on AI. And it's just like, why would you think this is, like, AI generated at all in any case outside of the whole fact that no focus was put into the plot? Like, you don't need AI to make an unfocused story. That happens all the time in writing stories.
Because like, humans are flawed. Like, sometimes we don't think things through.
Like, how many times have you watched a movie and a character just who is important to the plot up until that point just vanishes from the plot? Like, remember watching the original Disney Robin Hood and how Maid Marian just vanishes for the last third of the movie?
Oh, yeah.
Like, she is gone until the very, very end. So it's so funny how they think, like, oh, AI did this. And it's like, no, man, we've been making those kind of mess ups since forever. And now the fans. It's, if you really like this movie, you had a fun time, perfect. Perfectly fine. But when people are criticizing this movie and asking for a better story, why do you people, and let's just be real, the choices that these fans bring up are movies that they've probably never watched. Like, what were you expecting? Goodfellas? Godfather?
Sweetie, come here. We just want competent storytelling. Like, we just want a solid story structure with beats that are easy to follow. We're not asking for the moon here.
Like, and Mario doesn't need a complex story unless you want to adapt the Mario RPG sub-series of games. Because otherwise, it just needs to be Mario beats Bowser, saves the day. Woo-loo-loo. That's all you need. But it doesn't do anything. Like, no point does, like, Bowser be like, hey, listen, son, maybe raising you to be a psychotic little sociopath was a bad idea. Because they're kind of my friends now. And I don't care that there's a Yoshi Safari. Like, that's a deep cut Easter egg if you know anything about the NES bazooka sniper thing and that game. Which happens during the whole sequence where Mario and Luigi were turned into babies. Sorry, again, Nintendo fan here. I know what I'm talking about. But nobody wants, I mean, it, like, yes, we want a story, but we're not looking for the most substantial story, like, again, unless you adapt one of the RPG games. We just want something to go from beginning to end to make sense, some kind of character growth.
And also, why are we using, like, descriptors like Goodfellas or The Godfather, like, when,
like, have something comparable, like a Disney movie or some shit,
or the Lego Movie, which I think, as far as, like, 21st century like animated family films, that's probably like the gold standard, especially for a movie that
that's like a non-superhero IP, I would say.
Yeah, so like something that's a little bit more directly toyetic. Like the Lego movie and the Super Mario Brothers movies are like that should be what you're striving for, not like you said, Brie. We're not asking for the moon. We just want we just want like better storytelling.
Yeah,
That's
we're
it.
not Guru, and we're not trying to take over the moon. We just want competent storytellings with, satisfying character arcs.
Again, it's not like you couldn't have any here. They have points where they were like, oh, there's the story arc. Oh, no, never mind. Now, another subsection of fans. It's a kids' movie. What were you expecting? Were we just not, like, drowning in a year of K-pop Demon Hunters? Or the year before, we weren't just gushing and praising and crying over the wild robots? Or the year before that? Like, so happy that the Boy and the Heron and the Robot Dreams happened. And Nimona. So it's like,
the people who say that, in all honesty, and I think it's the majority, I mean, maybe I'm talking out of my ass a little bit here, but I feel like the people that say that don't have children, don't want to have children, or, work with children. Because if you love kids, especially if they're your kids, I mean, don't you want them to have the best? Like, because if I'm a parent, I'm more than likely going to watch this with my kids. Why would I not want something I could enjoy and share with my child?
There's something else, and I feel like too many people our age forget that for as great as like the movies that we grew up with, the Disney Renaissance movies,
Don Bluth.
We'll get to that. The first half of Don Bluth's filmography. The 90s also had its fair share of bad family movies, like the latter half of Don Bluth's filmography.
Oh, dear.
What, Mike, you didn't like A Troll in Central Park?
Oh, my God.
A bad troll, a very bad troll.
Let's banish a troll to a place that has no plant or forest or anything. It just so happens to be Central Park within New York City. Oh, gosh. So it's just like, man, like 3 family films have been nominated for Best Picture. Beauty and the Beast, Up, and Toy Story 3. Did we not all cry and like feel deeply moved by Toy Story 3's ending? Like, until, they undid all that because they needed more money with Toy Story 4 and 5. And a failure of getting money with Lightyear. And like, aren't some of you guys going to be the same ones who are going to say animation is cinema and just use the same 3 Spider-Verse, TMNT, Mutant Mayhem, and the Mitchells versus the Machines and such in your repertoire or whatever? Like, you can't have it both ways where it's a kid's movie, what do you expect? And then get extremely defensive when someone says like, hey, you know what? I don't think this was the best animated movie of the year, or whatever. It's just... And especially, they're probably the same people who got extremely racist when The Boy and the Heron won. So,
and you know what? They're also, like... And I don't want to get too ranty about this, but I feel like a lot of them also kind of live in the worldview of where so much of, like, their daily opinions and, like, their whole mentality is purely like reflected off media. Like, that is what they use to explain things, like even like stuff of like politics and stuff. And it's just, to me, that is just so fucking bizarre. Like, and maybe it's because I'm like a bit of an analytical person, like I enjoyed fictional things, but like growing up I was more into like, encyclopedias and dictionary and learning about how things worked, like, which is ironic because most of what my work involves fiction. It's kind of funny, but my point is, it feels like a lot of the time, so much of their perspective and worldview, like when it comes to like critic ratings, it's just based on like this very limited scope, it honestly just kind of makes me want to pull my hair out.
I get exactly what you're referring to, and yeah.
I mean, it is funny. I did read a lot of dictionaries too when I was younger. I liked reading through it. I read, like, for some reason during 4th grade, I read through a thesaurus from time to time. Like, I don't know
if the thesaurus was lit. No, I had like one of those little pocket thesauruses too. It was like so handy. Like, it was like one of those little digi thesauruses. It was almost like a PDA. God, I love the shit out of that thing.
Exactly. It's like, we can expect better because we've seen better. Like, there's a reason why the Disney's 90s Renaissance is seen as such a high point. There's a reason why people are yearning and hoping for Disney to do something like a Fantasia again. Even though it's like you have to go to around the world to possibly find that, like with Allegro Non Troppo. So we'll have to see how, like, we'll talk about that next time. But also, speaking of animation from around the world, to the animation snobs who are trying to avoid, understandably, the harassment they're going to get if they say they don't like the Mario Galaxy movie. But if you're going to go see it and you're going to talk about it and be like, oh, this is a disaster. I can't believe this is going to make $1 bazillion. Blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, well, are you going to recommend people go see Chow, which comes out on April 10th as we are recording this? Or Decorado, which is from the same people who made Bird Boy and the Forgotten Children and Unicorn Wars? Or what about Labyrinth, which comes out next month? Oh, you're not going to do this. You're not going to say, hey, we got alternatives. If you're looking for something more substantial, you can go to Fandango and rent Chicken for Linda or Sirocco in the Kingdom of the Winds or something like that.
And you know what? It's like, I'm not the one I'm like, oh, the Criterion collection and like, you know, get like the highest level of like ecstasy. Like, it just makes me warm and gooey inside. Like, you know, I am climaxing. But it's like, half these people, I'm like, do you even know what the Criterion Closet is? Like, did you just only hear of Criterion because of K-pop Demon Hunters? Like what? Like, I'm sorry, like, have you watched, doesn't matter if it came out, like, that year, but have you watched at least one movie from outside the major studio system? You haven't? Okay, cool, shut the fuck up.
Basically.
Like, it is so frustrating. This is why I don't like the talking head animation heads of YouTubers, because not only do they all just have the same repeated pattern of talking points, but they don't ever want to grow, or they don't want to talk about foreign animation unless they can make it into memes or find potential comedy out of it, or to be slightly racist about it, being like, wow, look at this wacky movie from this wacky country. Oh, those wacky people of that wacky country. And it's just like, dude, shut up. You are making everything worse. And again, these talking heads would probably drown in their own tears as I bring ladles and ladles of it and drink it if they found out that most people who work in the animation industry hate animation talking heads on YouTube.
Yep.
Which, by the way, go see that new Lindsay Ellis video about the whole...
it's so good.
The Thief and the Cobbler versus Aladdin kind of thing. It basically tears those idiots down like 2 ribbons.
You know what's like the greatest thing about it is she doesn't even directly call them out. She just straight up states facts. And you know what? Like, when she cried at Howard Ashman, I did too, because I, like, every time Howard Ashman comes up, I cry too, because it actually is really fucking sad.
God, it's like, we need people like Howard Ashman in our life, like in the creative world, because that's how a lot of the greatest things happen in this land. Because when you have people like Howard Ashman, it makes the world go round. Like, literally. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, like, I have actually wanted to talk about The Thief and the Cobbler, because boy, howdy, did she say some truths of The Thief and the Cobbler. It's not that great of a movie. Despite the passion project behind it. But anyway, people got super weird about it. They got really stupid about it really fast. And it was exhausting. And it's always these movies. It's never like it's funny. Everyone knew to stay the hell away from the Melania documentary that came out, which is still, to me, the most evil, sinister thing to have been released in theaters and to ever happen this year in movies so far.
Yeah, like nothing's going to top that.
Like, it's the one movie you can log onto Letterboxd without having to watch it and put it straight at the bottom of your list, because it's like, yeah, it is. It's just so dumb, because at the end, again, we hate to reinforce this again, the Super Mario Galaxy movie is fine. It's fine. It's nothing all that stellar. It's got some great animation and some fun casting. It is probably going to lead into a Smash Brothers movie. I would personally like an adaptation of Luigi's Mansion if you're going to actually have a story-driven Mario movie out there.
Yeah, do that first, then the Donkey Kong Country movie, and then do whatever you're going to do after that.
Man, if they did a Donkey Kong Country movie, they could basically make fun of colonialism.
Yeah, just like have Seth Rogen go, hey, let me tell you about the colonialism.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally what the Donkey Kong Country games are. It's basically King K. Rool comes to, like, Kong Island and steals all the bananas, depending on how you want to take that. And it's like, we stole all your resources. Screw you. That's something that you could adapt into a movie. Is like a Donkey Kong Country, a Luigi's Mansion. Like, and hell, you might as well should do that, because Donkey Kong Bonanza was basically like connecting both Donkey Kong Country and the older Mario universe with Pauline, who was the first damsel in distress of the Mario universe with the original Donkey Kong arcade game. And then King K. Rool is actually the main villain of Donkey Kong Bonanza. I just don't know. I am curious. Would this come around again? Like, if they make a Super Mario 3, would there be this much people coming out? Or is it just because right now we're in such a IP stranglehold of, like, this is the only thing people want to see, that people, like, that we are willing to let exist for some reason and make all the money in the world? Like, would that actually come to a halt? Because I know people like to bring up, like, oh, well, the Sonic movies are superior because they tell a story. And it's like, yeah, a story that's good on Sonic standards. Like, sooner or later, the Sonic movies are going to adapt Sonic 06. And boy, howdy, are they going to have to try to work around the fact that a human's going to kiss Sonic. So,
you know what? Like, that's the one I'm like, okay, I will go to the theater for that, because that, or just make the full ass edgy Shadow the Hedgehog movie.
God, just have Shadow be John Wick and fight Satan, I guess, or like that weird parody dub.
Oh yeah, the Stop Cube. Hey. Shadow, it's me, the devil.
Hey, Shadow, it's me, the devil. Oh God, I'm losing it right now with this. So, like, just go see Chow if you can. By the time this podcast comes out, go see Desperado if it comes out soon. Go see Allegro Non Troppo if they expand the theatrical release of that movie. Which, like, we're going to talk about that movie next time, because it is a cool bit of historical animation that we haven't really quite tackled on this podcast. So, I mean, yeah, it's like, if you had to go see another animated movie in theaters from a big studio, I'd probably still just go see Hoppers again, but...
Yeah, as long as Hoppers is still playing, or, you know...
I think Goat's on its last legs, literally.
Yeah, Goat... So. I don't even know if Goat is still playing at my theater. It might have a few.
I think it just got released on VOD, because I've been noticing the clips have been popping up on, like, YouTube and Instagram.
So it's basically on its last leg.
Basically.
So, yeah, that's it for this exhausting episode. Let's hope for less dumb discourse for the future of this year. Please, I beg you, there are more important things to be mad about than calling a Mario movie release evil.
Yeah, save your anger for the important stuff. But until next time, Bree, where can everyone find you online?
Well, if you want to hop into my galaxy, you can follow me at crazylemur.bsky.social. I'm also on Instagram at lemurs1, where I'm trying to post more pictures. Look, guys, I've been super busy. I'm trying. Just bear with me. Okay, love you. Bye.
And Cameron?
You can find me on Blue Sky at Cam's Eye View. I have a website called camseyeview.biz where I review animated films and shows from around the world called The Other Side of Animation. I am trying to post more on there. I'm busy because I'm also a contributor to Media Magpies. I'm working on a Disney-related article right now as we speak. And that'll be your new one-stop shop for pop culture and film and TV discourse. I also have a Patreon on patreon.com/camseyeview. I'm about to reboot that thing because I need to. It needs to have a facelift. But that's where you can find me.
And you guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Blue Sky at Renegade Pop Culture. You can also find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/Renegade Pop Culture. You can find us on YouTube at Renegade Pop Culture or Organoid Zero. Find us on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we. That'll do it for this episode of Renegade Animation. We will catch you guys later. Peace out.